wash away your pain, oh yeah.
Now back from the dead, he's here.
First of all, if you were seen showing support to I am Hobo Joe on Twitter, I blocked your ass. Second of all, do not buy Jack the Jobber's mystery box. Buy King Ross's mystery box. King Ross's mystery box is better. I don't know why they brought a Jack the Jobber's mystery box in at all. Third of all, here are all the WTF moments from WWE Extreme Rules 2017, a pay-per-view that should have been renamed WWE We Don't Know Any of the Pissing Rules 2017. Here we go.
In the journalist industry, word-based offenses are considered especially repulsive. In the world of WhatCulture, dedicated riding wranglers who investigate these faux pas are members of an elite squad known as King Ross's Grammar Gendarme. These are their stories.
Ooh, breaking back in with a catchphrase. Settle down now, girl, this one won't hurt. But it's that sign that reads, let's get extreme with the wrong bloody let's, you silly tool. Let's in that form is the third person singular form of the verb let. Like you're going to, like, the lady lets the dog have a wee on the floor. Oh. So this leaves me with one question. Who is letting you, that little tool, get extreme here? I don't know. You've used the wrong let's. Of course, as any mark with half a brain will know, the let's he should have used here should have been the one with an apostrophe, the contraction of let us. Let us get extreme. Just once again proving to us all that you marks cannot do grammar while this man can. Let's get sexy. Let's get sexy. Let's get sexy. Let's get sexy. Get this right, the opening match of a pay-per-view that has the balls, the great balls, to call itself Extreme Rules was a bog-standard singles match where there was less danger than there would be in a normal singles match. Dean, if you get disqualified, you'll lose your title. That's like the opposite of extreme. Dean, if you do something wrong, you'll get punished. You must abide by the rules, you cheeky little boy. Booker T, I'm coming for you now. Nelumbo, I was going to say Nelumbo. Yes, we have Booker T claiming the lads in the opening match have to open their fists when throwing a punch. Maggle Coles reaffirms Booker's thoughts here by saying the referee, because it's a championship match, has probably been a little more lenient than he should do, despite the fact the stipulation on the line states that if Dean Ambrose gets a DQ, he loses the title. So instead of looking for the DQ like any self-respecting referee could, the referee was letting Dean get away with just that little bit more than he should have. Anyway, let's forget about that. The WTF moment is the punchline. Have you ever heard of the Big Show, Booker T? 10 years he's been doing that KO punch with a closed fist. Roman pissing Reigns does a jumping punching fisting. Oh, fisting. And he does it 5 times a match. It's your claim that everyone has to have their fists open when throwing a punch. You have never watched wrestling in your life before, have you? Nalumbo. Booker T at the double. I'm coming for you. No. Why do they keep doing that? All I was going to say was Raja Nainggolan. He's a footballer. Here's a direct quote from the self-proclaimed rotisserie chicken. It's a chess match. It's a chess match tonight. You just got to wonder if, the Miz played the right card on this one. Chess, cards, chess. They're 2 different things, Booker. What kind of messed up chess are you playing, Booker? I guess that next you'll be telling me that the dominoes will fall like a house of cards and he'd be following that up with checkmate. What's up with that? So the first thing the Miz does in a match where if Dean Ambrose is disqualified, he loses his championship is go for a box standard collar and elbow tie-up. Where is the logic in that? I'll tell you, it's bloody nowhere. All he needed to do was get Maurice up on the apron, have her slap the piss out of his mouth because the Miz drinks piss, as we all know, and that would have been that. He would have saved us a lot of time. He would have walked out with the championship. Now, I know they did this later in the match, but this leads us to another WTF moment. The WTF moment being that it only took the Miz bare weeks after the match was actually announced, plus 20 minutes of the match itself, for him to realise that this was actually an option. What a pissing idiot! Next, we have the finish of the Intercontinental Championship match. Miz pushes Dean into the referee. The referee is sent flying. The referee thinks Dean hit him deliberately. Dean's like, no, referee, it was an accident. Don't punish me, please. This allows the Miz to hit his finisher, thus giving the referee a dilemma with 2 options. 2 options that have exactly the same answer. Talk about unnecessary or what? This wasn't a cliffhanger. This was a cock hanger, because this was as useful as a cock-flavoured lollipop. Unless, of course, you like cock, in which case you like this. Do, 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 do. Do 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 do. Rich won, the hometown hero, winning a match in his hometown. Now that doesn't happen in WWE. That means you need to grab 2 of each animal and head for the bastard border, because I have not forgotten, despite dying last week, how to deliver the perfect catchphrase. The end is not. The end is not. The end is not. The end is not. But this is surely a mistake. It just goes to show how little of a damn WWE's creative team give about the cruiserweights. Had Swan been on the main roster, the powers that be would have known that his hometown was in Baltimore. I think that's where nobody knows the pissing rules was. Anyway, they would have known that his hometown was wherever they were, and they would have had him lose. But because he's on 205 Live and in the cruiserweight division, nobody gives a toss about him. Nobody knows where he's from, so they let him slip under the radar just this one night. Do not expect Randy Orton to win his match in his hometown, because all hail the Maharaja, he is a sound gadger. Bayley asks for an extreme match. Bayley gets an extreme match. Bayley has weeks to mentally prepare for this extreme match. Bayley, while during her extreme match, picks up the extreme thing in her extreme match, but can't bloody use it, despite the fact she asked for the match and then had weeks to prepare for the match. Now we know what WWE were doing here, trying to make Bayley look really nice, too nice that she couldn't inflict proper damage on her opponent, but despite this effort, they failed miserably. All they made her do was look slow and clumsy, and Alexa Bliss to be far more cunning and a far more superior athlete than Bayley actually is. Good job, guys. Well done. Hold on a second, lads. Let me get this straight. If you're a mere muggle mark and you would go to a WWE event, choose to sit in the front row in fancy dress, most of the time you're told to move. Some of the time you're actually kicked out of the arena. But if you're a second-rate baseball player, he might be something else. I don't know. I couldn't be asked to do research on him. I've never heard of this man. You get away with it. Where is the justice in that? Lamar, tell me please. Not only that, but this man, in choosing his fancy dress, obviously went for his favourite wrestler from his childhood. He could have had Savage, he could have had Steamboat, he could have had Piper. I don't think he could have had Hogan. He could have had Flair, he could have had all these people, but no, he went for f***ing Virgil. Put some meat sauce on that. No pinfalls, no submissions. The only way that either tag team could have won that tag team cage match was for both of them to get their asses over the top or through the door with both of their asses on the floor at the same bloody time. So then, this would lead us to believe that this match is nothing more than a race to get out of the cage. Here is how this cage match started. Why the bloody hell did the Hardys not head straight for the door when they saw Cesaro and Sheamus climbing over the top? If they went out the door, they would have won at a canter. Let me demonstrate. I'm Cesaro and Sheamus. Upon seeing this is what the Hardy Boys should have done. Pretend there's a door here. They would have won. This logic, once again, it makes as much sense as a cock-flavoured lollipop, unless, of course, you like cock-flavoured lollipops, in which case you'll like this. Matthew James Hardy, what on earth are you doing with yourself, pal? How far has your brilliance fallen since me and you spent a night together in Newcastle at the arse end of last year? What's easier? Once again, climbing over something or simply walking through a door? I'll demonstrate once again. Second of all, in terms of match, the rules clearly stated that the first team to have both members on the floor at exactly the same time was the winner. Jeff Hardy is on the floor. Sheamus is halfway out the door. Matt is pulling Sheamus back in. What is Matt doing? All Matt had to do was let Sheamus leave. Cesaro was conked out in the middle of the ring. Matt could have left after Sheamus. Sheamus would have been on the floor on his own. Cesaro would have been in the ring on his own. Matt and Jeff would have been on the floor up together. This all makes sense, doesn't it? And they would have won the match because both of them would have been on the floor at the same time, while one of them would have been in the ring and one of them would have been on the floor. Not both on the floor. That did make sense. That did make sense. It did make sense. Again, this time Cesaro is climbing up the side of the cage. Sheamus is conked out on the floor in the ring. Jeff Hardy is on the outside on the floor. Yet Matt Hardy, instead of just walking out the door, which would see both of his team on the floor and they would have won the match, he was more concerned with getting Cesaro back inside the cage to make himself a handicap match because he's a sick bastard. That's not the same as a sick guy. He's a sick bastard, a twisted bastard. Some would say he's broken. Who put this match together? The stipulation absolutely killed it, but of course, let's just remember that the Hardy Boys themselves picked this stipulation. They picked the cage match aspect, they picked the going over the top aspect, and it blew up in their bloody faces. This is despite the fact that on weeks and weeks and weeks of Raw television, they have managed to beat both Cesaro and Sheamus in singles matches. Why didn't they pick a box standard singles match? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They went for something fancy and it blotted all over their faces. Ooh. Just to clarify, I mean they've been in singles matches on Raw. If they had a box standard tag team match at the pay-per-view, that would have given them a lot better chance considering their results in singles matches. Whoo! Dun 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 dun. Drama, controversy, suspense, new WWE Raw Tag Team Champions. Boredom. Fucking hell, Kevin. A 10 count in a submission match. A rope break in a submission match. The commentator saying Aries doesn't want to win by DQ and we all know he literally can't. The referee not allowing submissions to take place on the floor even though it's a submission match. Oh my God. As we all know, because you are marks, there are no disqualifications in a submission match, rendering everything I just said Obsolete! I don't know anymore, lads. What more is there you can say about this pay-per-view? Let's just line up a number of memes with confused bastards, because that can explain my point better than I can with words. Is he broken? Seriously though, he's just lost his third championship match. Surely his championship campaign is over. Yet he's breaking the fourth wall and smiling like a Cheshire cat. What's up with that? Proving internet virgins, wrong moment of the week. Your boy Finn Balor not wearing his paint in a match like this is not a WTF moment, you stinking bunch of marks. He has a track record of doing it in matches like this. Go back to the July 25th episode of WWE Raw. You know, the one where Finn won that fatal four-way match and then beat Roman Reigns to become the #1 contender for the Universal Championship along with Seth Rollins. And you will see a Finn Balor that is not wearing the paint. A match where a shot at the Universal Championship is on the line. He does not wear the paint. He did it on Raw and he did it last night. So up your Cadbury alleys, that theory goes, you get a pissing life, you sensationalist bastards. Yes, that's right. Somebody from clickbaity WhatCulture calling you sensationalists. Woohoo! Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar. They actually bloody did it, and I can't bloody believe it. There's absolutely no doubt that when Samoa Joe won that match, marks of a certain vintage would have been doing this. And before we play that, I've been King Ross. You've been a filthy mark. I'm not dead anymore. Goodbye. Don't buy Jack the Jobber's box. Buy mine. Oh yeah! Oh!